Welcome, Traveller, to the Elder Scrolls Online, but also the Arckellon, which is our flagship that we broadcast these videos from. If you've not visited the channel before, if you do like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. So let's get into the content. We are going to be talking about a very close thing to my heart, which I don't know how many people know about this, but it really makes a huge difference in games. So what I want to talk about is Nvidia game filters. Now, Nvidia have been offering their GeForce Experience for quite some time now, and their filters were brought in, I think, about half a year ago, so from this video's date. And the difference that they make in games, in my opinion, is huge, and I'm here to show you how you can find them, modify them, and ultimately apply them to your game. Now, I only use 2 of them, but you may find there is additional filters within the list that you want to use for your setup. So, first of all, you need to have an Nvidia graphics card. So if you're not sure if you've got one, best way to check is to, I think if you hit start and then type in about my PC or about your PC, it should come up with an option. You click on it, and if you go down to, I think it's video card or graphics card, it should tell you if it's Nvidia at the start. If not, take that model number, Google it, and then it should tell you if it's Nvidia or AMD. If it's an AMD card, there might be a separate offering for that, but I really don't know. I'm personally coming at this from an Nvidia experience side of things, so apologies, I can't cover the AMG, is that right? AMD, sorry, AMD side of things, but the Nvidia card, you need GeForce Experience installed. Typically, that's something most people do have installed, but a good way to check if you're not quite sure if you've got it is Alt-Z on your keyboard brings up this GeForce Experience window. Now, GeForce Experience it offers a lot. One of the more common ones that I think comes on by default is the FPS counter in the bottom left corner. Top left corner by default. I've moved mine to the bottom left corner just to allow me to see what's going on in this game. But different games, you might want to move it around. I think you just go into settings and then HUD layout, FPS counter, and you can change where it is. But you've got all sorts here which you can add on to it. Personally, I don't need too much. I'm happy with 2 things. One, this, like the FPS counter, but secondly, game filter. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's jump in. Now, it's currently turned off, I think. Things did just seem to get brighter when I clicked that, but never mind. It's definitely off. I know what off looks like in the game. This game is Elder Scrolls Online, and this is the default look for the game. If you're playing on console, you're going to get a very similar experience. We are going to jump into the game filters. The shortcut for that is Alt F3. And that'll bring up the filter option. Now, what these are similar to is, you may have heard of Sweet Effects or Reshade, which have been popular and circulated in the past quite commonly. These are similar to that, very similar. They offer basically an additional layer of processing on top of the graphics that the game is producing. So it's literally adding an extra post effect, and I find that the like the Sweet Effects and Reshade filters tend to have a bit of a FPS impact, but it does tend to have good results, but it does have an FPS impact personally from my perspective, which makes it quite difficult. Now, in future releases, that might change. I really don't want to bring too much shade down on them. I think they offer something brilliant, but I'm looking at game filters, and game filters for me do exactly what I want, and they're built into the GeForce Experience window anyway, so may as well make use of them. So let's jump in. Now, I had previously applied a couple of filters, but here's the list. Now, you've got brightness and contrast, self-explanatory, black and white, colour, which is one of the ones I use. You've got colorblind, which offers you different types of options for people who have colour blindness, and it might make the game slightly easier to see what's going on. I'm just going to turn this effect off because it's obviously got everything set to max, but if you've got colour blindness, that might be an area that you would like to jump into, and it should hopefully help you in the game. You've got depth of field. Personally, not something I play around with, but I know a lot of players do like that, so feel free to have a play around with this. There's plenty of options. You've got invert depth. You've got all sorts to just to see what depth of field you can apply on top of what the game offers. Details. I personally don't use this, but again, it might be something that you get used to. Sorry, I'm going to remove the map. There we go. So now you can see what's going on. But yeah, ultimately you can see that it's having an effect on the game. I don't have an HDR monitor, but I can imagine that these sort of settings might help if you did. HDR typically comes with TVs. It stands for high definition rendering, something that has been introduced for TVs for quite some time. Monitors are starting to get them, but I think they're quite expensive. So at the moment, that might change as they become more common. Next, you've got letterbox. That just applies the bars at the top of the screen like you would in a movie. You've got night mode, which applies like a tint to remove the blue tones from the game. If you're on your phone, you might have noticed you might have had something called night shift, which essentially makes your phone look more and more yellow as the night goes along, and that's because the yellow is drowning out the blue from the screen. I think it may even be reducing the blue filter, so you're getting just that warm look rather than an actual like vibrant look. Because when you're trying to go to sleep, if you've been staring at a blue light for more than 30 minutes prior to you going to sleep, you may find you have difficulty getting to sleep sometimes. Something to bear in mind if that is something that you do happen to experience. You may not, but if you do, night mode, as you can see here, applies a warm filter to the game, and it'll just help, especially at the later stages in the night. Something to consider if that is something that you would benefit from. So let's turn that off. If I can find the... there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly blast through these because I don't want to make this video too long. Old film is an effect if you're wanting to have a video which applies this filter. Personally, not something I would use, but obviously, again, if you're doing a video and you're wanting to pretend something was done in the ancient past, that could be a way to do it. Got Painterly, which makes everything look painted, and remove HUD. I'm not going to click it. My game crashed last time, but when it does work, it might actually remove the elements of the HUD, which would be a pretty sweet thing for games which perhaps have too many HUD related items that the game doesn't allow you to remove, or just simply if you want to take a screenshot or something like that. You've got sharpen, which is something that I do happen to use quite commonly. And you've got special effects. I'm just going to turn that off immediately, but you've got, all these different things that you can apply. Really, really, I think that's if you just want to do like a artistic screenshot. You've got split screen, which does something, I'm not entirely sure what. To be honest, I'm not really going to go through the others. Tilt shift is an effect to make something look a lot smaller than it is. It's often used to make a big city or a big item look small because it blurs the area around it and it looks as though you're taking a photo from above it, whereas it's actually just a blur effect. It's quite cool, but I can't demonstrate it here because I'm not looking at something huge. You've got the... Last time I tried pronouncing this, I butchered it. I said Vignetti. That's completely wrong. I think it's Vignetti. I think it's Vignetti or Vignette. Vignette. Let's go for Vignette. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, but Vignette, I think. Watercolor, again, it's an effect if you want to apply a watercolor effect to your screen. So, they're the different effects. Now, I have noticed that there is some resources to gather, so I shall just quickly do that just before I move on. Right, we have two filters that I mentioned that I use. The two filters are, and bonus points if you can guess them before I click them, they are color, and the second one is sharpen. Now I'm going to turn sharpen off because that's not what I want to demonstrate at the moment. I don't use black and white. I'm going to remove that. So we now have sharpen and we have color. Now, color is an extremely difficult one to get right. You have to play around with these sliders quite a lot to get the color. Sorry, I've got the map open again. It's because Alt, for some reason, is mapped to map in addition to M, which I probably need to change for these videos. Again, apologies for the map being there, but this will help demonstrate the color filter. So, as you can see, it applies a really, really strong color to your screen. I go around about this area, sort of like there's a sweet spot just here, and then you've got the tint intensity, so just want to get that around about there. The temperature we're just going to bring to here, and the vibrance is already at max, but that's the color settings that I'm going to go for. Don't know how close I got to my actual color settings, which are on number 1. Let's see how close we got. So we went 35, 54, 46 and 100. The actual settings are 31, 19, 0.5 and 100. And this is I played around for ages to get this right. But this is my color scheme. I was actually going to write them down on the back of this bit of paper here, but completely forgot before the video, so I'm essentially making myself look like a divvy, so apologies about that. Now, second one I want to talk about is sharpen, and then we'll look at colour a little bit more. Look around here, sort of them rocks in the distance. When you apply sharpen, it just brings out that detail in the distance of stuff. See these paths up here? I'm hoping you can see my cursor. If not, it is... you've got the bridge to the right, and then you've got the path that goes up. I've got a bit of sharpen on at the moment, but there's the path that goes up from there. If I just drag the sharpen up, you can immediately see the details in all of that. Some people prefer to have this at a little bit less of a intense levels, so there's a bit of balance. Personally, for me, I just want the full effect because it makes the textures come out, and it really, really brings out the look of the like the assets that the game uses. You can kind of see it in the tree, but the tree was already pretty well detailed. I personally think it just brings out a lot of extra stuff. Right, anyways, we're going to go back to colour now. So, this is the game world with the colour preset on. I say preset, you still have to mess around with it to get what you want. So this is just a nice waterside view. I'm going to turn the game filter off. This is what the game normally looks like, right? I've not made any change. I've not put a filter on or anything. This is the game as it should be. I think you notice a lot more when the filter has been turned off, how the game looks versus how the game could look. So again, here's the scene, here's the colours, okay, and I am going to turn them back on. And there's the colours, just brought to life, in my opinion. And everything's got that really nice colour, and the sharpness is bringing out the texture detail. So I'm hoping that sold you on it. It's a really nice little built-in feature that not many people are aware of, and it really can make your game look so much nicer. I hope this has demonstrated just what it can do. For those of you who are wondering where I am in the game, for those of you that play Elder Scrolls Online, I'm currently in Somerset, and this is where I have been doing the colour changes to. So that is everything in a nutshell. I've tried to do that as quick as possible, but without trying to go across things too quickly. Hopefully that has been a suitable speed, but again, feedback if that is not the case. So I'm going to round off there. Closing thoughts. Please do let me know what you think of the video. If you've found that actually useful and something that you're going to play around with, please do comment and advise that it's been a useful thing to know. If there's something that you think I could have done better, or something that I perhaps could be doing on top of what I'm doing, maybe an additional filter that you happen to use, whatever, or if you just think my delivery could be better, then again, please do let me know. The constructive criticisms are exactly what we will be using to drive this channel going forward. And really, 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 the comments do help. And I would absolutely just encourage anybody who has any feedback just to leave a comment. If you did like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and dislike the video. Let us know what the reception is. And finally, if you're a fan of these style of videos and you want to have a look at more of the stuff that we offer, jump into our channel, the Arkellon, or Arkellon, sorry, it's just one word. You can click subscribe and see what we've got going forward. We've got Let's Plays, which we call Voyages, and we have quick visits to games, which we call Expeditions. And we have a lot of fun in them videos, and hopefully you will have fun watching them too. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more of this content. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one, and thanks for visiting. I'll talk to you next time. I've been Sonder. It's been great speaking to you. Bye-bye.